Well, it's likely a lot of us are a little less chipper today after adjusting our clocks for daylight savings this weekend. Losing an hour of sleep may not seem like a lot, but it does have a real effect on our body. Joining me to discuss it is Matthew Eben, a sleep specialist from New York Presbyterian Hospital, Weill Cornell Medical Center. Welcome, Matthew. Great to see you.
Thank you.
So, daylight savings, we are losing an hour of sleep. We're feeling a little bit groggy. Is there more to it than that?
Well, it takes a while for your body to adjust. Usually it doesn't take more than a day or two to adjust to a 1 hour time change. But for
so we have hope.
We have hope.
Yeah. We shouldn't worry. In a day or two, we should be back to normal.
Right.
Why is this one so much harder than the daylight savings that happens in the fall?
Well, when you lose an hour, the natural body clock is a little bit longer than 24 hours. So it's a bit unnatural to lose an hour. It's easier when you gain an hour.
Right. And so what about folks who already have sleep problems? Does this compound that, or is it just more of the same?
Well, some people have a condition called delayed sleep phase syndrome, and it's difficult for them to fall asleep at a normal hour, and they have difficulty waking up at normal hours. So for them, this time is particularly difficult.
Is this otherwise known as being a night owl?
That's right. That's right.
So these are the folks who maybe functioned at a very high level in college if they avoided morning classes and stayed up till 3 or 4 studying every night, right?
That's right.
And then run into problems once they hit the working world.
Right. It's difficult for them to make that adjustment.
And how do you treat folks like that who have to suddenly wake up every day at 6 or 7 in the morning, and this goes against their natural rhythm?
Well, a few things that we do is we make sure that they maintain a stable schedule. So they wake up at the same time every day, even on the weekends. And when they wake up at that time, they should get about an hour of bright light in their eyes. Not staring at the sun, but they need that light in their eyes to adjust their internal body clock.
And what percentage of the population suffers from this delayed sleep phase syndrome?
Well, it's a relatively small percentage, but it's not equally distributed among age groups. So people who are younger tend to have this more. And as you get older, the adjustment is somewhat easier.
Interesting. So hence even more the shock of leaving college and into the working world, right?
Right.
You're young, and if you suffer from this, it's like a double whammy.
Right.
So do you see, like, sometimes, I'm just curious, do you see some of these people changing careers? For instance, I could imagine being, let's say, a musician or an artist, sort of careers that have less traditional structures being more attractive to these people.
Yes, you do see people make that adjustment. And for some people, that's really the best solution.
Right.
But for others, they don't have that luxury.
They have to adjust. Now, some of these things that you mentioned, the bright light and the regular sleep schedule, do you also recommend these to just, normal folks who are having trouble sleeping?
Yeah, this time of year, if you're having a lot of difficulty adjusting to the 1 hour time shift, you can get that bright light in the morning, and that will help you.
And so anyone right now who's having these issues, you say go ahead and give it a try.
That's right. Even some people who didn't have difficulty falling asleep and didn't have difficulty waking up for many years, if they begin having that difficulty, they can just get bright light in the morning. It's the way the clock is set in general.
Now, these people who have delayed sleep phase syndrome that we were talking about earlier, this isn't the same as being an insomniac, correct?
No, that's right. So insomniacs can have difficulty falling asleep, but they generally have no difficulty waking up in the morning. Whereas if you have delayed sleep phase syndrome, you can't fall asleep and then you can't wake up.
Right. So how do you treat an insomniac?
Well, we usually use cognitive behavioral therapy. Sometimes we can use medications, but the cognitive behavioral techniques are a little bit more successful.
Can you give me an example?
Well, structuring sleep is the most important thing. So sometimes people will spend a lot of time in bed. They want to stack the odds in their favor that they're going to get more sleep if they lie in bed for a longer period of time. That doesn't work. It actually works against them in many cases. So we'll shorten the amount of time they spend in bed. We'll have them maintain a very strict sleep-wake schedule. And that's very successful for a lot of people.
All right, that sounds great. Now, and help us settle the argument here, if you would. Do we need 6 hours of sleep a night, 7 or 8? It seems like everyone has a different opinion.
Well, it depends who you are. So some people need less sleep, some people need more sleep. So sleep is something that is normally distributed, just like height, right? Some people are short, some people are tall. Some people can get away on 6 hours of sleep. Other people need 10 hours of sleep. If that person who needs 10 hours tries to live on an 8-hour schedule, they'll be tired all the time.
So how can we discover what our personal sleep needs are? since there's such a wide variety?
Sure. If you take a vacation and you have a couple weeks where you can sleep out as much as you'd like, at the end of that vacation, you should have a good idea.
Does it take a couple of weeks to get to that point?
Well, it depends. If you're very sleep deprived, it can take a couple weeks. It could even take longer. It could take a month. But at some point, you'll figure out exactly how much sleep you need, and you won't be able to sleep any more than that.
So you'll finally reach the point where you are naturally going to sleep and naturally waking up without an alarm clock or anything, and that should tell you what your sleep needs are.
All right. That's right.
Matthew Eben, thank you so much for all that great information. And for more great health and nutrition information, you can always check out the health page at abcnews.com.